Hello and welcome back to Action Sports for All. Today we are talking with the amazing Olympic bronze medalist, Declan Brooks. So, Declan, tell me a bit about you.
So, 25 years old. I started riding BMX when I was 9 or 10 years old. So, fair while now, 15 years down in a place called Portsmouth on the south coast of England. Grew up riding with people like Mark Webb, Ben Wallace, all some big names back then. So we always were riding around really good people. And we had a good little crew that was sort of similar age. Just took it from there. It was just a hobby at that point. Then kind of when I was around 16, leaving school, it was what career path would you like to take? And I never really knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to ride a bike, but you don't know how far you can take it. And the Olympic stuff wasn't about back then. So it was just riding as many competitions as you can and just kind of going from there, and decided to take it full time. I had a job on the side as well, but it was quite flexible. So it was perfect. And then, yeah, here we are, still riding BMX.
Yeah. So what originally got you into BMX?
My dad always BMX'd in the 80s. He always kind of loved it and wanted his kids to get on anything with wheels. Motorbikes was the preference. So motocross, motorbikes. I had a go when I was, I think, 5, but it just wasn't for me. And then he got me on a BMX at around 9 or 10 and just loved it. I love like the element of individual sport, and you get in as much as you get out as much as you put in, basically. It's on you. And I've always liked that element of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, I mean, you've had such a long career, as you've just said, you've been doing it for so long. What's it like to sort of have that long career as a pro BMX rider?
I've never really asked that question before. It's so good because it's such a different sport to anything else. You're on your own for one. There's so much athleticism within the sport. It's like before, it's normally like people didn't go to the gym or that sort of thing. But now it's like you got to do everything you can to stay on it as long as possible. And I've always known like people that have done gymnastics at an early age have always been so much better in terms of spins and tricks and stuff like that. So I kind of wish I did that when I was a kid, just to be better. But yeah, there's so much that goes into it. But it's now for me, it's just about prolonging my career as long as possible. So that things like eating well, stretching before and after, and just being a bit more sensible, but still pushing the limits.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Where's your favorite place to ride?
I think it has to be Adrenaline Alley. There's just so much there. We've got like 4 or 5 big spaces there, all really different, and it's just perfect. There's no, when you're in the park, there's no like one ramp ends and another starts. It's all in one. So it's so smooth and so many lines, and yeah, we pretty much ride it every day, but you still don't get bored.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk a bit more about the different skate parks across the UK in a bit.
Yeah.
What's your favorite trick?
I think front flips, only because I can kind of do them on pretty much most things now. It's kind of a go-to for me. It doesn't necessarily feel the best, but I know I've got them super dialed and I can put most tricks in them now. So it's one of my like kind of go-tos.
Yeah. So do you have a riding shoe of choice?
Riding shoe, I ride in it's a basketball shoe that Adidas do, but it's super protective. It's a high top. It just stops you bashing your ankles up. I've always ran them. They're super good for me. A lot of BMXers ride like low cut shoes, but they tend to wear ankle braces, which is effectively the same as riding high top shoes, which I've always preferred that route.
Yeah. So if you weren't a BMXer, what sport do you think you'd be in?
Well, when I was a kid, I played football up until the age of about 11. And then that's when I preferred to ride BMX. I think it's because it's more of a solo sport, and you're not relying on teammates and that sort of thing. And I think I just got on well with it. But as I've grown up, I've not really done much else other than ride BMX. And then about 2 years ago, I started playing golf, and it's completely different to BMX. It's so much more calmer. There's no you very rarely get injured in that, and it's quite boring for a lot of people. But for me, I think it's what I needed, because what we do is quite crazy, and then this is very, very like you go out and you hit a ball, and that's basically it. But it's still challenging.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to a few more of the personalized questions. So, in doing research for this, I went down like every rabbit hole on the internet that has your name connected to it. And I found a few things. So, let's just start with Take Me Out.
Yeah. That was 5 or 6 years ago now.
Yeah, 2017.
Pretty cool. Not everyone knows that. But it was something. It was just for fun. They asked. I got an email one day, and it was like, "Would you like to apply for it?" And I was single at the time, and I thought, "Oh, I'll give it a go." And it was just a laugh, really. It was quite funny. Now I don't think I've ever watched it once through, because it's so bad. But it's funny for anyone else.
So did it work out with a girl?
No.
Wikipedia got that wrong, because if you go on Wikipedia, it says like successful relationships, and it says for you that it worked out.
Well, it technically did, because I got a date on there.
Yeah.
But after that, it didn't work out. So I get what they mean. Maybe it did.
Yeah.
Didn't go very far.
No. We'll get to the next one, Cirque du Soleil. I think I pronounced that correct.
That was amazing. If anyone doesn't know what Cirque du Soleil is, it's basically the biggest circus company in the world. They have over 50 shows, probably 10 or 15 in Las Vegas that are in different hotels around the city. But I was on what's called a big top, which is basically a traveling round one in a tent. So a lot of places would get that. But we only really went to kind of like the main cities. So like place like Toronto, Miami, where else did we go? Montreal. I was on it for 6 months, and it was at the point in my career where I was at a bit of a crossroads. I didn't really know if I wanted to compete anymore, and the job come up, and it was getting paid to ride your bike. And at the time, I was like, you know what? It'd be pretty fun. You get to ride every day. It seemed like a bit of an easy life, to be honest, and it was amazing. You get to travel around and ride with all these different riders. So no, it was really good. But after the 6 months, it was kind of dragging towards the end of it, and I knew I wanted to compete again. So I was just looking forward to getting back on the competition circuit, and then I played from there.
Cool. So we'll get into the next one, and I don't think a lot of people know this about you, but you're sponsored by Suzuki.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
So I knew someone there, and basically they said, do you ride motorbikes? And I said, no, but I'm interested. My motorbikes have been in my family for forever, since I was a kid. But I didn't have a license at the time. So they said, well, if we put you through your license, and we'll give you a bike, and you can just ride around and just post about it. So it's a pretty good gig, to be honest. Yeah, you haven't really got to do too much. Just ride it, post about it, and it's sweet. You get a free motorbike.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So getting back to BMX, you've been doing a lot of coaching and events and stuff like that. You did one at Greystone. You're doing one at Adrenaline Alley soon.
Easter holidays.
Yeah. What's that like, and how does that make you feel? I guess sort of coaching the new generation.
Yes, it's really rewarding. Actually, it's something that I think I want to go into after my career ends. Whether it's coaching like grassroots or top level, I don't know yet. But yeah, it's just fun. Like, you get to see kids trying new tricks and giving them a little technique to do, and then they go and pull it. And when I was a kid, like, we didn't have anyone doing this. Like, any big pros willing to go out their way to basically coach kids. Like it didn't happen. So that is something that I want to do more of. Again, while I'm competing, I can't do it all the time, but it's nice to do it a couple of times a year and just kind of like get to meet like their idol that they see on the TV, or maybe if it's not me, it might be someone like Kieran Riley that does it with me. So no, it's just a good day out.
Yeah. Right. Well,
I hope they get a lot from it as well.
yeah. Well, I know a few of the people who have been on them, and they've all said great things.
Yeah.
And obviously you can see the response online. People seem to love it. So we'll get to the next one then. Talking about social media, how do you think social media now affects BMX and action sports as a whole?
It's huge now. To be honest, I'm not. It's a great tool, but it's not for everyone. I will say that. And I think back in the day, like say 10, 15 years ago, when social media wasn't around, it was more about full videos, which now it's like you put up a clip, you get some likes and comments, and it's great engagement for your fans and that sort of thing. But it's a bit like you just chuck anything up.
Yeah.
But it runs the world now. So it's something you have to do. Not a lot of people like to do it, but it's something you have to do. Some people, like for me, I just prefer competitions. I'll put, I don't feel like I should have to post, but nowadays you do, to basically show that you're still out there, and obviously your sponsors and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. You can get way too involved with it. And you've got to sometimes, like for me, I'm always on my phone, and then I've got to take a break from it every now and again just to get back to your normal life and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Do you think it hurts the sport in any way?
I think it did. Yeah, I think it probably did a fair few years ago. Like it killed the magazines. Like it killed Ride UK for a while. And they're only just started doing magazines again now, maybe once or twice a year. But I think it's took, so where before only really athletes or say famous people could earn a living, now it's obviously anyone can come along, put tutorials on YouTube for say anything. Like you can literally become anyone now, and that's great because it gives everyone a platform.
Yeah.
And if you put the work in, you'll get the rewards, and that's great. But now you just got to be more creative. You can't just win a competition. You have to do way more. But that's the new world.
Yeah. No, I think it's really interesting because I know, like, myself and the people I ride with will often try different things for social media because, you know, that trick might be harder, but on social media, that trick's going to do a different trick will do better. So
yeah, it's a weird mix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting how it affects it.
Sometimes you can do a clip that you're absolutely buzzing on, and you think, oh, this one's going to go huge, and it doesn't go anywhere. And then something you just put up just blows up, and it doesn't make sense. But
yeah,
just the way it is.
Yeah, it's weird. You've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Which has been the worst, and how do you keep your motivation?
Oh, that's a tough one. What's been the worst? I think breaking my leg was the longest. So that was like 4 years ago. Yeah, that was probably my worst because it just took the longest to come back, and you're just itching to get back on your bike.
Yeah.
You've got to give it time, those sorts of things. It will get better. It's just time. Your body needs to heal. And then when you get back on the bike, it's one of the main things that I've got wrong before. Like another time I broke another leg, which wasn't too bad. But I got back on the bike too early and then re-broke it. Just a short fracture, a small fracture, but it just puts you back because you're so excited to get on it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that you just learn as you get older. You just got to give it time, and then with time, you'll be fine. And again, like eating well, drinking lots of water, all that helps, and yeah, it's just one of the things that you just pick up.
Yeah.
But other than that, well, to be fair, they've all been bad. It's never nice. It's never nice breaking anything, is it?
No.
Have you broke anything yet?
Not riding. I've had a few dislocations. Dislocated my rib a few times.
Your rib?
Yeah.
Rib?
Yeah.
Wow, how do you do that?
So my chair's built in a way that when you land in a foam pit, it will just stab you. And I usually get that in like my kidney, but it's hit me in the rib a few times.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, it's not great. So
No,
essentially, if I'm trying anything where I'm spinning 180s, 360s, anything, it's gonna hit you. So that's not great.
Yeah, body armor.
No,
No, should you or not?
I've never seen anybody do it. It's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, I've done lots of 180s and I've just recently got 360s and I've only done it like twice. So it's not that bad, but yeah, it's annoying because where there's a big piece of metal that sticks out and they've covered it in like the tiniest bit of leather, like that's going to change the fact that it's a big bit that sticks out.
You'll have to mod it.
Yeah. Well, I've actually got my new chair coming. It's
Oh,
ordered.
nice.
The wheels have arrived with the guy that's building it. And so have the shocks. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Just got to pick the color now. I think that's the hardest bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you have your injuries, how do you keep your motivation?
Yeah, well, at the start you get super demotivated because generally when you get injured, you're probably pushing for something. That's what I've always found. I was always trying something or pushing, so you're super motivated at that point. But then obviously you get the injury, you get slightly depressed or whatever for say the first week, and then after that you think, right, let's start doing everything that I need to get better. And I'm sure I'm going to get to a point at some point when you get older, you have one and you think, right, I don't think this is for me anymore.
Yeah.
But I've never felt that way. So it's always just like, right, let's get this done and get back and keep improving.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always just been self-motivated really. You'll know when your time's up, I think.
Yeah. When that time does come, have you got a plan for what you want to do after?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm hoping I've probably got another 10 years if I'm lucky. I'd like nowadays, there's a couple of guys that like 35. Daniel Dares that got second at the Olympics is 36. So I'm hoping I've still got maybe 10 years. But again, that's why I'm starting the coaching stuff up.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to be around BMX for the rest of my life. You put this much work into it, you learn so much along the way that you can help with.
Yeah.
So that's an option.
Yeah. Would you be interested in getting to like running comps and working more on like I guess the behind the scenes stuff and making stuff happen instead of
I think I just don't think we have enough competitions to be able to warrant that as a full-time job really. So that would be cool. But yeah, I think that would be hard to do it full time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we spoke about it before that people can now do social media for their career. Would that be something then, I guess?
Probably not for me. I've never really, I just find it so hard to do stuff. I'm not the most creative. So for me, it just wouldn't seem natural.
Yeah.
I'd really have to push myself hard to do it. And it probably wouldn't be very good. I think for the best people, it's just so natural and they're super good at talking in front of a camera. Whereas for me, I just don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be a certain type of person and it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But those people that do it, fair play to them because it's probably one of the best jobs you can do. You work for yourself.
Yeah. Get to make the hours, I guess. So I guess we'll get into the next thing then. We spoke a bit about UK skate parks. I've got a list of them here. I want your opinion, and we'll get a rating out of 10. So we'll start off with Greystone.
Greystone. I'd give it a rating of about 6.
Yeah.
Purely because it has the jumps and the foam pits, great. it just doesn't have enough variety.
Yeah.
But like again, as a whole, you've got the trampoline areas. You've got is it the Ninja Warrior? Do they still do that?
No,
kind of
Ninja
thing?
Warrior's gone now. There's the like gymnastics area for parkour
Yeah.
and free running.
I
Bouldering
will
wall
say,
just
I will say
opened.
one thing about that. Best cafe in the country, though.
Yes, the restaurant is
Best
like
cafe.
top tier. I've
Yeah,
been to a few
yeah.
skate parks now, and nothing's as good as Greystone.
No,
The
no, they've got
restaurant.
that. They've got that right.
Yeah, Simon, who's the chef, some of the stuff he's got coming out, like the specials on Friday and stuff, it's next level. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think the problem is in Manchester, the space is just not massive, so you can only do so much.
Yeah. I think that they are planning to expand and get another location, so that'd be really interesting to see. I think if you could add one thing to Greystone, would you add? What would you add? If you wanted more variety.
What would I add? That's a good question.
I know a lot of the
probably
local
just like
guys.
a box jump section. Yeah. I think it would have to be just like a line, a couple of box jumps, because you've only got the resi.
Yeah,
the resi's good, but sometimes it's nice to just fly around and hit some jumps.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few people that are like locals, and everybody says jump box.
Yeah,
I think it'd be really interesting to see, and it'll be interesting to see what they get at a new location. So you've already spoken about this next one a bit, Adrenaline Alley.
Well, it's probably the best park in the world.
Yeah,
I'd say so, because I've rode the Woodwards. The Woodwards were pretty great. Now they're not so great.
why'd you
still
say that?
good. Still good. They're just a little bit dated.
Yeah.
That's all I'd say on them. And because you've got places like Adrenaline Alley now, they've just completely up the level, and they want to do more still. And I think that's where the bar's at. And there's so many parks in like Russia and all these different places that are crazy now. So, and Woodward was one of those places that was just like next level. Everyone wanted to go and live there and train because the best in the world were. And I think they're redoing Woodward soon, so that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think Adrenaline Alley is best park in the world.
Yeah, I think it's interesting with Woodward because you're seeing now with the Park City location they've just opened up, where they want to sort of head it. Because I guess that Park City is more like an Adrenaline Alley or a Greystone when you look at it. So it'll be really interesting to see where they head. Yeah. So for Adrenaline Alley, out of 10.
10.
10, yeah?
No, not 10. 9.5.
9.5. What's lost that 5 points?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I don't know. There's a few skate parks that have come out like across the country, the world. Sorry, there's a new one in Australia, for instance, and it's more compact. Or like I feel like we just need a room that you can hit like a full line, resis and wood all together, so you can kind of like build runs in a safe environment.
Yeah.
Like a competition run, for instance. Whereas Corby at the moment is quite. You do one trick, then you go back to the top. Like Greystone, you do one trick. You don't really link tricks together in a run sort of thing. So I think that's the only thing we're missing. But it's still pretty good, you know.
Yeah. Okay, for the next one, we'll come back up north a bit. Rampworks in Liverpool.
Rampworks. It's a bit dingy for me in there. It's very like dark. It's very like dark, and it's a pretty good park. It's probably like an 8.
Yeah,
I'd say an 8, but it's just too dark.
Yeah.
And it's just got that old feel. Like I went there probably like last went there like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just it was dark.
Yeah, it really is the Hollister of skate parks.
Yeah.
It is a bit dark. The jump boxes though, they're not terrible.
No, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
they're good. Yeah. No, it's a good park. It's just the
need to get some lights.
Yeah, more lights. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So for the next one, staying north again, ramp 1.
Ramp one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Box jump section's really good. Other than that, there used to be a bowl there. I don't think that's there anymore.
No, they got rid of that. They also got rid of the minis.
Yeah, so really it's just the box section. So the box section, like on its own, I'll tell you what, Greystone need that box section.
Yeah.
Then they'll be complete.
Yeah.
But no, the box and quarters are really good.
Yeah. I think it's a
Just
pretty good park.
Not enough there.
Yeah. I think again it's sort of got that size problem.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next one, staying up north, Ramp City.
Have I been there? Is it in Hull?
No, in Blackpool.
Oh, I have been there once. They've got a vert ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. I rode the vert ramp there a couple of times. I can't remember what the park was like. I don't even think I rode it. I think I just rode the vert. It was a vert competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I rode the park. I can't remember what's there. I'm from down south, so this is too north for me.
Yeah, it's there's the vert ramp, and then there's there's like a weird bowl thing, I think, and then like a few banks, and it's a bit street area.
Yeah,
I've never ridden there. I went in and I toured it once, and it like the roof was falling apart. It was about the same brightness as Ramp Works, maybe slightly brighter.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
The car park was atrocious. Like,
was it gravelly?
Yeah, it was like proper gravelly. It's like not the best car park. Which I have to include in the
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to think about everything.
Yeah.
Your full experience.
Yeah. So what's your out of 10 then?
I would say what did I give Greystone?
Greystone, you gave a 6.
I'd probably give them a 5 then.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I was a bit harsh on Greystone actually. I think I dropped Greystone to 7.
Okay. The next one, you may have been there, but you probably won't have liked it. House of Vans. It's a very skate focused park in London.
I've rode it once, I think. Not for me. It's just skateboarding really.
Yeah. You
can ride it on a BMX, but it's cool to go there and just jib around and just flow, which is not really my sort of riding. So it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. It's obviously.
For me, I'd probably give it a 3.
It's obviously limited by space because it's under the train station, isn't it? So.
It's a cool location.
Yeah.
Also, centre of London, and it's cool vibe. We've got a little bar there. They do like nights and club nights and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's an interesting idea.
It fits a purpose for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely skate focused though, I think.
Yeah. London. I think London's very much like that. I think Manchester's similar.
Yeah.
Great skateboarding.
Well, they used to have, what was it? Was it Beast Ramps or something in Manchester?
Yeah. That wasn't bad. Bad.
They shut down.
Did you ride that one? No.
No, that shut down before I started riding.
Yeah, that was a fair while ago now, actually.
Yeah. They shut down, I think, just a bit before Greystone opened.
Yeah, what, 2018-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the next one, getting a bit bigger again, Asylum.
Ooh. 8.5.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's good. Asylum's good. I ride it probably like once a week.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good. It's good. The bowl's like pretty good. Now they've just redone a quarter pipe there, and it makes it so much better. Box is good. Resi's are good. Yeah, no, it's all round a pretty good park.
Yeah,
definitely recommend.
Yeah, looks pretty sick from online. I need to go visit that.
Yeah.
I want to just go around like the whole UK and just visit like all the major parks.
Yeah,
do a proper tour.
You should do a big trip.
Okay, for the next one, Mount Hawk.
Oh, I've not been there in a long time now. The box section looks good. Well, last time I went there, it was all right. Big space, and and probably I'd say it was like a 7 maybe when I was last there, but I think it's better now.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's not bad. I went last year. No, 2 years ago now. It was August 2020. It wasn't bad. The new outdoor bit's okay.
Okay.
But that's obviously it's quite a skate focused outdoor bit.
Yeah.
Bowl ain't terrible. The vert ramp's massive, and they've got like a big roll in as well on
Road,
that.
road that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a nice park. Although I must say again, the car park is it's not the best.
Yeah.
And because of its location, when I went twice, and the second time I went, it was like so foggy, you just couldn't even see. Like when you were in the car park, which is right next to the outdoor bit, you just couldn't even see it.
Yeah.
It was pretty mad. The pump track, though, the outdoor pump track, there's a tarmacked area of the pump track, and that's sick. I quite enjoyed that.
Good.
All right, we'll get on to that. So, did you give a rating out of 10 for Mount Hawk?
7.
7? So, around where Greystone's at?
Yeah.
Okay. For the final one, we've got Rom.
Ooh, old school.
Yeah. Isn't it like the oldest skate park in the UK?
Considering it burnt down.
Did it? Didn't know that.
It burnt down like 2 years ago, maybe.
Oh, really?
But then they've rebuilt it, just on a budget this time, so it wasn't as good as it was before. Obviously, you got all the bowls, the bowl areas, which obviously can't burn because it's concrete.
Yeah.
So they're still the same, but the wood stuff there is not great. Probably 5.
Yeah. I was researching the park, and if I remember correctly, it was Rom. It's now like a historic place, like under
Yeah.
the national like historic thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the 70s or 60s.
Yeah.
Built.
It's pretty old.
Yeah.
So from from Greystone through to Rom, what's the best park that we've spoken about?
So what, the top?
Yeah, so from Greystone to Rom, what's top?
Adrenaline Alley.
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah. And what would you say out of them's the worst? House of Hands?
For me, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not my thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good park. It's just not really BMX focused at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. It's good for someone out there. Like if you ride street, you got a good street section or bowls. It's pretty good bowls for skateboard because you got pool open on top.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah, it doesn't really work.
Okay. Now we'll get on to the main thing. That I guess we're going to talk about, the Olympics. How did that come about and start? Because obviously, racing BMX on dirt's been around for a while, and then obviously now we see freestyle BMX come.
Yeah.
How's that come about?
Yeah. So it started up in start of 2018. So British Cycling come along and said, basically scouted out all the riders in the country, put together a team of 4 or 5 guys and 2 girls, and was basically like, this is our team. At that point, you get lottery funded.
Yeah.
Where you can, if you're not taking it full time, you can do that now. So for me, that was perfect, that I could rent a house in Corby, move up there and train every day. Because I was working as a plasterer at that point still.
Yeah.
So, but not every day, but like say 3 days a week. It was my dad's firm, so he basically had me in. I wouldn't be able to hold down a full job because I was away too much.
Yeah.
But then I still needed to earn some money. So basically that allowed me to do it full time.
Yeah.
And just it went from there. We do like World Cups. We go away as a team. We have physios come away with us. We have a coach, and we have a psychologist come away with us now. So it's a team of about 10 of us, including riders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then we basically from there we did a big camp in America at the start of 2018. They picked the riders. We come back. We got told who was on the team, and then we just went from there collecting points.
Yeah.
And obviously that was 2018, and the games were meant to be in 2020.
Yeah.
So we started collecting points, say at the end of 2018,
Yeah.
for what was meant to be a year and a half. And basically the points is to qualify your country a spot. But because BMX is new, they only gave us 9 spots across men and 9 across women, which basically means the top 5 or 6 countries can take one rider, and then one's given to Japan because they hosted, and then the other 2 spots were gone from world champions over the last 2 years.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
In the end, America ended up getting 2 spots because they qualified first.
Yeah.
And then how it works is the country's given the spots, and then the country picks their riders who they want to go. So even if you qualified first, they might not send you.
Yeah.
They probably will, and they did. That's how they did it. But it's not, if they didn't choose you, it's not illegal to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So but it's pretty cool. Like if for us, I collected the most points, so I went.
Yeah.
But again, they could have chose James Jones or Alex Colborne if they wanted.
Yeah.
But it's just fair
when
you do it like that. But obviously the games got cancelled 2020, rolled into 2021. And they basically, although it was off points, they kind of we did internal competitions. So we did 3 competitions over the 3 months at the start of 2021, and all the riders did them, and then they got the results from that, and they basically said, we want Deck to go.
Yeah.
So worked out great for me. But I don't know if you know, but I had a crash at the World Championships, say 6 weeks before the Olympics.
Yeah.
It was June 2021, and they basically, I got a letter to say, you've been picked to go to the Olympics. Like, that's it. Then the week after that, I had the World Championships. So I went there knowing that you've got an Olympic spot. You don't need to go crazy, but you kind of you do want to ride your best.
Yeah.
And because it's practice at the end of the day, and it's a normal competition as like any other one is, pretty much. So I went for it. Run was going great. Decided to do a double backflip last trick, and just come up. Just didn't spin enough, didn't rotate. So basically went into the floor, knock out, fractured my eye socket, and then obviously I was knocked out on the floor.
Yeah.
So I had a concussion, 10 days. And it was basically like, as soon as your concussion's done, get back to it, because you got to train. You got a month. You got a month till the Olympics.
Yeah.
So it was it was hard. Like you've got to push through it.
Yeah.
And mentally, like I knew I had to do the double flip again. So that was basically like, of course you're going to be scared of it again, but you just got to go do it.
Yeah.
It's the only way, because if you think about it, like it's changed, it hasn't changed. I could do them 100 times over before. The only thing that changed was, normally I'd do it at the start of a run when you've got energy, but this time I decided to do it at the back end, thinking I'd be fine, and it wasn't. I just got it wrong.
Yeah.
So I still knew I could do the trick because I wasn't tired.
Yeah.
But it was just getting over the fear of just doing it again. And once I was in, it was one of those.
Yeah.
We trained for the Olympics. We had our own British cycling that we're under.
Yeah.
Built us a replica course.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was down in Birmingham. We went down there for about 5 or 6 weeks before the games and just stayed there. We got like an Airbnb and just basically lived there and rode it every day. So, and it was pretty similar to the course in Tokyo. So that was a result. Because you don't know the exact dimensions of ramps. You just know a drawing.
Yeah.
So they built from that, and then it was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And then we went there, and obviously got a third and a first. So
Yeah. I
pretty.
mean, you did so well. And obviously you've said, you're under quite a bit of pressure. What was that sort of team did you have behind you, while you were preparing to get there? And
Um, so when we were there, we had our coach that we'd spent the previous 2 months with
yeah,
at the course. So we knew when we went into it, we knew exactly what we had to do. We knew we planned a run. We basically did the run every day in Birmingham, so we knew it was good.
yeah,
Um, it was just about being in a new environment and trying to get used to being at the Olympic Games, which is pretty much impossible
yeah,
because you've never been,
yeah,
and it's crazy. You crazy thing that you're at, and you're like, why the hell am I here?
yeah,
Um, so you kind of got to do that. You just got to focus on your run and just executing every trick.
yeah,
Um, you can't think too far ahead or think if something went wrong before. You just got to get on with where you're at.
yeah,
That's the main thing. Just trying to stay present.
yeah. So how much do you think that the replica park did help?
um, I think probably quite a lot.
Yeah,
Um, obviously, you'd think it'd be quite a lot, but I'm pretty good at generally at like my probably one of my strengths is to learn a part quick anyway. So if we didn't have it, I'm not saying I would have got the third again, but I probably would have done the same run.
yeah,
But it might just been as a bit scrappier and not as dialed in.
yeah,
Um, but it's one of those things you never know. But yeah, obviously it's a massive help us having it, and it was crazy that they even did that. But it's just what they do.
yeah.
British Cycling is this huge company, and they have money to spend. They want medals, and it's perfect for us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's great, isn't it? I mean, you literally got paid to ride every day. That's
Yeah,
like pretty much everybody in action sports dream.
yeah,
It's really cool, and I think, you know, I think that having the replica park and being able to ride every day, I think that did really help.
oh yeah,
The how well you guys really did do in Tokyo.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you,
Everything as well. Charlotte won, and yeah, it would have been super hard for us both to have done that well.
yeah, yeah. So you had your line worked out before you got to Tokyo. How do
Yeah.
you work out your lines?
Um, for me, it's quite easy to be honest. It's always something that has been a strength. I can go somewhere and find a line that's different to everyone else. Um, in the past, I've always not had big big tricks as everyone else, but I've always been able to get through on like creativity and line choice, and just about how you ride the park and use everything. So I've always been. I don't know how I've learned that. It's just come over a period of time. I think maybe when I was a kid, I used to ride loads of different parks across the country. My dad used to take me up and down, so we used to ride a lot. Maybe riding with different people as well. But I don't know. I just look at the park and you look at the line everyone's doing because there's generally a line 80% of the field stick to.
Yeah,
So I look at it and think, is there a better one? Because these everyone's doing the same tricks pretty much these days. So if you're not doing a different line, then you're probably going to do the same as someone else,
yeah,
uh, which is fine. But you need to make sure at that point you're better than them, or you can do better tricks than them. But to avoid that, you can do different tricks that are just as hard, but with a different line, and that way
yeah,
you're winning. You're going to do generally better than most of the field because you're unique, and the judges see the same thing over and over again.
yeah,
So it's just trying to find what's different about you and play to your strengths.
yeah, yeah. Because I guess you do sort of come in really tactical, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. So like if you would have watched the Olympics, like probably I probably went the highest, the fastest around the course. Just looks a little bit different to everyone else.
Yeah,
Uh, so and that's just how I like to ride as well. As wanting like you could do the same lines as everyone else, but I just don't find it as fun.
yeah,
Like it's
no,
like I like the challenge of finding something different.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. So I've noticed everybody, when you look at the Olympics, they all had everybody, like, it looked like there was a few different choices for like the Team GB outfit. How does the clothes work? Is there sort of like just an app you can go on to get it, or
No, so you have the thing called Kitting Out Day,
yeah,
which is basically it was in the NEC in Birmingham.
yeah,
You go down there, and they basically give you 3 big bags of clothes. It's the best. And you pick it up, you try it all on, see if it all fits. You get like a suit. You get what else do you get? You just get loads of like Adidas shoes, like all this stuff, and you bring it home, and you just take everything with you. And when you're over there, there's certain days that they want you to wear certain stuff. So you just, if it might be a white day or it might be a blue day, and everyone just wears those colors. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
that's interesting. So you have to wear a specific outfit on a day.
You don't have to, but there's basically like one day is either a white day, and like they prefer everyone to wear the same colors.
Yeah,
Just so it's more of a team and more of a
yeah,
like a that sort of thing. So they'll put like in the morning they'll put a sign on the wall, and it'll just be like white day,
yeah,
blue day, and not everyone does it, but the majority do.
yeah. So was that in the like Team GB hotel?
Yeah. So in the village, there's, to be honest, we probably had the best block. So there's these big tower blocks,
Yeah,
amazing views outside over the river, and we actually had our own tower block, because there were so many athletes as well. A lot of countries shared, like places like, for instance, like like Venezuela probably had like 10 athletes. So they would share with, I don't know, Hungary or Portugal,
yeah.
those sort of countries, like, because there's not enough athletes, they share. Whereas we had our own,
Okay.
basically our own one. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like everyone in there, like, just kind of speaks to each other, whether you're in the elevator. Like it's quite funny because you'd be chilling that day or something, or recovering, and then you'd be watching TV and you'd watch someone get a gold medal, for instance, and then
Yeah.
you'd see it, and then you'd get in this lift later on, and they'd be in there, and you'd be like, "Oh, well done, mate."
Yeah,
And
that's really cool.
it's quite surreal at one point.
Yeah, that's sick. So I've got to ask you, because everybody was talking about it around the sort of time, and everybody was putting on. Were the mattresses cardboard?
So the beds were, so
Yeah.
the frames were made out of cardboard, but the mattress was normal.
Ah, okay.
But and it was fine. It
Yeah.
was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was a very hot topic at the time, wasn't it? Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah. But they were strong. I didn't see anyone's break, anything like that. So
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So what's I guess like the atmosphere out then at the hotel in the village?
Um, just you're just on cloud nine the whole time.
Yeah.
You're just walking around and you're just thinking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just hard to get your head around. Even like the food hall, for instance, is like they're feeding like 10,000 people a day. So you can
Yeah.
imagine it's like 2 stories, this huge place, always packed any time of the day, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like everyone's on a high because generally, unless they've lost their event or something,
Yeah.
they're probably sitting in their room at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just everyone's just bubbling round and just
Yeah.
bouncing.
So, like, how much were you allowed to like go out and explore? I guess like Tokyo and stuff, or did you
Nothing.
have to stay in the village?
Yeah, nothing. You weren't allowed to leave the village. The village was huge though. It was like a couple miles big. So you could walk about the village. There wasn't really a lot to see there. It was just being outside in the sun.
Yeah.
And to be honest, by the time you got back from your event, then you just wanted to chill out really.
Yeah.
You didn't really want to explore anyway. It would have been nice after it finished to have gone out and walked the streets and that sort of thing. But everyone was just happy to go there, compete, and then go home because they just wanted it to happen at that point.
Yeah. So was the skate park on site then?
No, so it was a 10-minute bus journey away, and basically every event actually was outside. So you'd get on a bus that come in that was like a catered bus, and all the riders would get on it, go out into where the park was, and that was no one from the outside could get in anywhere.
Yeah.
So you weren't mixing at all.
Yeah. So what was that like? Because of obviously COVID, obviously really changed the games.
Yeah,
Was it
well,
pretty strict or?
yeah, like you had to wear your mask inside and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you was out in the fresh air, you didn't have to do anything. So it didn't really feel too bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
You didn't think like it was really strict at any point. It was just you got on with it, and that was it. And
Yeah.
you was just happy to be there.
Yeah.
You'd do it at that point. You'd do anything to just be there.
Yeah. I can imagine. Obviously, it's been such a wait.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you spoke a bit about it. Your run and stuff. Where's your mind at when you're dropping in?
The first trick probably.
Yeah.
So at that point, when I was on the deck waiting to drop in, it was just like a little pre-routine that we'd worked out, and then just thinking of the first trick.
Yeah.
That's it. And as soon as you're in, it's the next trick, or like the one you're going into once you've landed that one.
Yeah.
So it's always about being in that present moment where that's all you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much what you do anyway when you normally go to a competition. But if something went wrong, just leave it and carry on. Luckily, nothing went wrong for me, so it was just kind of like plain sailing in a way.
Yeah.
I just did everything that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Just stay in the present moment.
Yeah. Were you freaking out as you're about to drop in?
Not particularly. Like I always get nervous anyway.
Yeah.
But I think we'd done this routine so many times that it was just like it was almost ingrained at that point. But it's hard to say now because you kind of forget what it was actually like at that moment. I was probably bricking it at that point. But no, it's just it was a big occasion, but you knew you could only do what you could do at the end of the day.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get onto the next thing. So the flights, it was obviously Team GB are partnered with British Airways. How was that like? Did you just get given a ticket? Did you have to organise stuff or?
Yeah, you didn't have to organise anything.
Yeah.
So you basically just turn up at the airport at the time. They do it all for you. On the way out there, you get upgraded.
Yeah.
So first class. So that was pretty sweet. And then it was basically like if you get a medal, then you're upgraded on the way back. If you don't, you're at the back.
you're in the hold.
So there's not only pressure of getting a medal, but it was a pressure of getting a first class ticket on the way home.
Yeah, because it's not exactly a short flight to Japan.
No, I think it was like 12 hours. But yeah, no, it was pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
So I've seen like the clips online of like the captain announcing that people are on board. Did you get that or?
Yeah. There was loads of different sports on our flight. Everyone goes out there at different times because obviously they don't want to get everyone there at the same time because of COVID and all that stuff. So, but no, there was quite a few different people on our flight. No one that I can really remember, not like super famous people.
Yeah.
But no, there was loads of kits around.
Someone's just heard that and freaked out. They're like, I was on that flight with Declan.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. People knew, like, I think people knew that the Olympics were happening anyway. So if you were flying to Tokyo, probably a chance that you're probably going to see people.
Yeah. That's really cool though. I mean, it must have been mad flying out there and having that opportunity to do it all.
Oh yeah. It was just as soon as you kind of got that letter to say that you're in.
Yeah.
It just snowballs after that. You just like constantly doing stuff with either media or you're getting your kit, and then you're still trying to train at that point. So yeah, it's a busy time.
Yeah. So you've done your run, you've done amazing. What was it like getting back, seeing your family, your friends, and the press?
Oh, that was crazy. So we flew back. My family met me at the airport. So that was a special moment. And then what my family organised at home, which I didn't know about, was just this big homecoming thing. Um, so down the street that my parents live on, it's probably like quarter of a mile long, and there's a pub on the corner, and basically people lined up from one end of the street to the other, both sides of the road. So it's like people for like quarter of a mile on both sides of the road. There's got to be like 2,000 people there,
Yeah,
and they basically planned it for when I come in. Everyone was standing there, and like there was this. We went live with it, I think, a couple of times, um, but it was just I didn't know about it. So as soon as I got there, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like you've never seen anything like it. It was almost like when the Queen, like when someone gets married of the royal family, like you see the streets, and that's what it felt like. And I was like, "Whoa!"
yeah,
Mm. And that like went pretty big. There was like the news there and everything like that. But no, it was just a special moment for my town as well.
yeah,
Like like obviously they supported me the whole way through this, so just pretty cool moment.
yeah. No, can imagine it's pretty mad. Do you remember like the first thing you heard when you got back from your
What do you mean?
from your family? What was their first like thought?
I can't remember any words to be honest. We just hugged and cried pretty much.
Yeah,
Mm. And that was pretty cool in the airport, like just walking out and seeing them.
yeah,
Because it would have been weird the fact that now because I was just going to drive home, like my
yeah,
car was there, so like it would if no one was there, it would have been like, all right, just going to drive home quick.
yeah. Just say
But
hi
no,
to the Heathrow meet and greet man.
yeah. So no, that was nice of them.
Yeah. So plans for 24 then 28.
Yeah. So definitely 24. I'd like 28, but I've got to get through 24 first.
Yeah.
Like, it's just back to training. So after the games, I had a couple of months off, just to enjoy it, and there was nothing coming up in the immediate future. Not with COVID still kind of lurking around as well. Um, so I had a couple of months off, got Christmas out of the way, and then back to training as normal.
Yeah.
Our qualifying starts probably the end of this year for it, so we'll be collecting points for over a year again, and then we'll see where we end up.
Yeah. Is there much of a plan yet, or is it just sort of let's get the points first?
Yeah, well, it's like our team's pretty much stayed the same. So there's still four guys on the team. Charlotte's still holding it down for the girls. I'm sure
Yeah.
they're probably looking for another girl at some point just to help her out, um, and obviously try and challenge her. But it's be pretty hard going at the moment.
Yeah.
She's riding pretty good. Obviously the best actually.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it's just getting our team solid and then going out and trying to beat everyone.
Yeah. And as you posted online the other day, now X Games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's my first X Games invite. Pretty special because it's one of the ones you watch growing up as a kid. I honestly probably thought I'd be going to the X Games before the Olympics, but that's just the way it's panned out.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So I'm just thankful for the invite. It's one of those competitions you just want to ride at, want to try and get a medal at, just
Yeah.
to say you've got one. Yeah, pretty special. Next month it is in Japan again.
Yeah, it's mad. So you're flying back out already.
I know. Yeah, so that would be. I think we got like 4 to 6 weeks, something like that, and then straight out there.
Yeah.
Not sure what it's like with COVID. I think we still might have restrictions, but again, don't really mind because you're at the X Games.
Yeah. So is that something with like British cycling, or is that just you?
No, so that's on our own. On our own, whoever gets invited. So 16 people got invited. So you just basically make your way out there on your own.
Yeah.
They pick you up the other side and then check in your hotel and get practicing on the course.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
I got my final two questions before we get to the trivia. Where do you see your career going?
Upwards, I hope.
Yeah.
it'd be nice to be a world champion one day. That'd be a pretty big one. Get the rainbow jersey.
Yeah.
And just keep pushing for as long as possible. Just inspire the next generation, which I'm sure we did last year as well. And just give a platform for the new riders coming through.
Yeah. Okay. So you've talked about where you see your career going, but where do you see the action sports industry going?
Tough question. Well, hopefully to where it was in like the 2000s era. Because
Yeah.
like when X Games was huge, it was shown on TV. Mainstream TV would be like Sky Sports and that sort of thing. Imagine if they showed X Games on there, like the amount of extra people it would bring in.
Yeah.
The Olympics was great for that because it was on TV. Everyone kind of got behind it when BMX did well. So I hope upwards. Obviously, it's going to be in every Olympics, so it should only get bigger as a sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, just making it a more known sport and just better pathways into it. Like there's not enough coaching, because that's one of the things with BMX. I never had a coach as a kid. You just get on a bike and have fun.
Yeah.
And that's still part of it. Like not everyone wants to be coached. Even now, it's nice to go to the park and just ride.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it competitively at the Olympics, you have to get used to having a coach.
Yeah.
But if you don't, there's still a whole world out there for BMX.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a coach. You don't have to do the Olympics. You can just ride for fun.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's still great.
Yeah.
It's just about having fun.
Yeah. Do you think the BMX community was pretty hyped overall about Olympics, or do you think there are a few people that were?
Yeah. I think they were after.
Yeah.
I know the UK anyway. After, because of it brought in so many medals and we did so well. If we didn't do well, I don't think they would have been in a great light.
Yeah.
Only through success, everyone was like, right, well, we've got 2 Olympic medalists. Like, we can't really complain about this. Obviously, before people were a bit wary of it and they didn't really like it. But I think it was such a great show that it just kind of put it on the map.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. So to get to the action sports for all trivia, essentially what this is, I have gone through every rabbit hole about you on the internet, and I've got a few things. So I'm going to ask you questions about yourself. All of this is easy to find on the internet.
Right.
So let's start off. So what date was it?
It doesn't mean it's true if it's on the internet, right?
It doesn't, but hopefully it should be. I think I've done fairly okay research for this one. So your first Instagram post, I can give you ABC.
Oh, have I got
The date? Yeah, you got to guess. Do you want me to give you the ABC?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it A, September 9th, 2012, B, May 6th, 2012, or C, June 6th, 2012?
Well, you're not giving me much there, are you? I can sort of, yeah.
It's a difficult one, this first one.
I'm going to go B.
You want to go B? You sure?
Yeah.
You're correct. You've got B.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a great guess.
Okay, for the next one. So I've tried to go for things that I don't think you'll be able to guess too easy. Right. So your NAS dirt event placement 2016. Again, I can give you ABC.
Yeah.
So is it A, 5th, B, 4th, or C, 3rd?
4th.
You want to say 4th? You sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? You got it wrong.
What was it, 5th?
It was 5th.
Fair enough.
Okay, so the next one. So Take Me Out, the air date on telly.
Oh, I reckon I know when this is.
Yeah?
Go on, give me the ABC.
So 17th of May, 20th of May, or 27th?
27th.
You sure?
No, but that's what I'm locking in.
You're correct.
Yeah, I thought it was. Right. I was in Montpellier for fees at that time, and it's always at the end of May.
Ah, okay, right. So the next one. In 2013, you posted a photo of you when you'd met Sam Pilgrim. How many
Yeah.
teeth collectively out of your mouths were missing?
2.
2?
2.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good photo, that one.
I saw, and there were just like there was just 5 comments. One of them was just not a great Colgate ad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not the best. So you spoke about how you worked plastering. You posted a photo of yourself boasting how many bags of plaster you could hold, but how many bags could you hold?
I reckon only 2.
2? Do you want me to give you the ABC? Because it might not be.
Yeah, go on.
So A, 2, B, 3, or C, 4.
I'm going to go 3 then.
You want to go 3?
Yeah.
You certain?
No, but yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah. 75 kilos, that is.
Is it?
Yeah, nice.
That's
nice.
not
Good
bad.
work.
Yeah,
Good
it's not
work.
bad at all, is it? Okay, well, you did pretty well. If I remember correctly, you're like 3rd on the leaderboard.
Nice. What'd I get? 3 out of 4?
Yeah, 5. isn't
5.
it? Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, nobody's yet to get them all correct.
Yeah, well, they are quite. The questions are like.
It's more luck.
I'm not going to
than
remember
it
that
is.
far back. 10
Yeah.
years ago, that first one was.
Yeah, it's more luck than it is like
Yeah, that one.
good management. Okay, well, thank you for coming on. It's been great to
Right.
have you. If you want to shout out everything you've got online.
Yeah, so Instagram, I have all of it. Declan Brooks. Shout out to sponsors: Mafia Bikes, Profile, Suzuki, TSG. That's a new one, like a helmet brand. So yeah, pretty good. British Cycling.
Yeah.
And all the kids out there that are coming to these coaching camps.
Yeah.
I hope they're having a good time as I am.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you everybody for watching. Goodbye. Okay, there we go.
Nice one. Thanks, Thomas.